Good day and welcome. Our apologies for the late start. There was some technical challenges there. It's funny how you work with technology and it never works when you want it to. We still haven't been able to fix it because we're trying to get the speakers on. So what it is we're trying to do, as the speakers speak, we're not hearing them through our speakers that are in the training room here. So we pivoted to us hearing it through one of the laptops. So as a speaker speaking, we're gonna have to be like really, really quiet. Again, our sincere apologies, but this is life, this is real estate. Things happens and we just have to roll with it. Jen, I know you were just stressed and freaking frustrated. Such as life. We roll.
Okay. I blame Gary.
Yes, there you go. Gary is we had to pivot last minute again. Gary had a concussion playing soccer on Monday. So we'll just send our thoughts and prayers to him. So let's blame him.
And there is a chance this is not the last technical challenge we're going to have today. So just bear with us as we figure this out. But thank you all for being here. And I hope everyone grabbed some pizza and got some lunch. And we're going to jump right into it because I know we're a little late and our guest speaker is waiting to go. But before we start with that, we're just going to start with a few recognitions and congratulations for some of our agents. So Haley MacArthur, CAP. So congrats, Haley. Our top producers for GCI for March, Haley MacArthur. I usually start at number 10. Jackie Primerano, Paul Ireland, Austin Clark, Darren Maltese, Angela Beatty, Jeff Cowan, Andrew Runn, Tracy Christine, Pamela Coventry, and Haley MacArthur. Congrats, guys. And our top teams for GCI for March was Melissa Taylor team, Team Paroff, John Brock Real Estate Partners, Team Russo, and Volpe Alcorn team.
This is very impressive. These are some impressive numbers. So congratulations to everyone who've made that. Shout out to Russo. Well done, buddy.
Congrats to Tracy Kirstein, who was top 19 in Canada for top individual agent for March 2025. So congratulations, Tracy Kirstein, and the rest of your team. All right, I'm going to pivot really quick to our guest speaker. So not everybody knows Kate Peterson. She is a phenomenal KW agent. She has a team downtown. She is a top producer with her team. She was a bowl coach from 2016 all the way through COVID. She's Canadian. She has created her own Canadian content training program called SCORE. I had the privilege of attending the first session last week in Barrie. We're hosting it every Thursday up until June 5th, and it's a phenomenal program. The content is very similar to Bold, but it's Canadian content, it's Canadian language, Canadian scripts, and she's taken out a lot of the rah, let's go maps coaching, and she's made it very focused, very productive, very purposeful. And I have a copy of the book as well if anyone wants to come check it out. There's tons of text message scripts, there's call scripts, there's systems, there's plays. Honestly, it's fantastic. So give me a second because I'm going to pivot to the Zoom screen and then we're going to unmute Kate and she's going to talk to you guys a little bit about SCORE and what that looks like. Zoom.
It looks like Kate is ready and waiting there.
I'm here.
Patient.
Yeah.
Thank you for your patience, Kate.
No, my pleasure. Oh, now I'm having my technical difficulties. My camera's falling. Okay. Yeah, I hear the feedback that you guys are having. So thank you so much for having me on and thank you for inviting me thank you to the Barrie office for inviting me to come up and bring the SCORE program to all of you and for the people from Newmarket who are already registered. Colin, I know you have a really phenomenal market center there and I am so excited, and you can see I still keep my laws up on the back wall here. I think it's really important for all of us to remember that in a market like this that we're in right now, a lot of people, buyers and sellers out there, have a lot of questions, a lot of uncertainty, and that's trickling through the mindset of our agents. So much of what we need to do every day is focus on our mindset so that we will take action and build the skills that we're looking at building. So, Jen, if I can share the screen for just a minute. Would that be okay?
1 second, Kate.
You're asking a lot, Kate.
I know. And if it doesn't work, that's fine. If it doesn't work, that's okay. I can roll with that.
You're
I mean,
good. Go for it.
that's part of this business is we have to be able to roll with it. We have to be prepared for whatever comes down the pipeline, whatever comes our way. So there we go. Okay, so we'll do that and share. Okay, can we see the circles there, the orange circles?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so guys, this is what we're looking at is where are we in today's market? And right now for us as agents and the public out there who have real estate needs, everybody being in this state of quote uncertainty, the election is behind us. It's in the back door. And yet people are still sitting there. They're not in their comfort zone. They're in a fear zone. And this is where many agents are sitting right now. And many buyers and sellers are sitting in the fear zone right now, not knowing what's going to happen. And as a consequence, they are afraid to move forward in this market. And so when we as a group of professional realtors move forward and we push ourselves out of our comfort zones, we move through the fear zone and we get into the learning zone. What do I need to learn to help our clients in today's world move through the fear zone? You're bringing them into the learning zone with you. You're in your learning zone for how to deal with that. You're helping them learn what they need to know and hear so that they can move through this market as well and achieve the real estate goals that they're looking for, which in their world is a growth zone. In our world, that growth zone is we've gained market share. And bottom line, at the end of the day, that's what's happening is we've got to get out of our comfort zone. We've got to move through fear zone, and we've got to get the clients of today outside of their fear zone so that they can learn what they need to learn from you as their trusted advisor, as their realty consultant, so that they can grow into the real estate transactions and realities that they are looking for. So that's really what SCORE is all about. SCORE is now about scoring the business that you're looking for. And what I'm really excited about, we just finished the 5th session in Mississauga. And what I find truly amazing, we've got 50 people in that room. And those agents right now are averaging 5 contracts per agent. And we're not even done yet. We've got 2 more sessions to go before we get our final averages. So this is up from the fall, when in the fall we were averaging about 4.5. And so we're growing, and each of these agents is growing. And as they write another contract, as they get another buyer, as they get another buyer deal, as they take another listing and they get another listing deal, these are the agents who are being purposeful in their business. They're moving from E to P. They're stopping being entrepreneurial. And they're saying, what do I have to do in today's market to help myself move forward and to help my clients move forward? Because the market share I gain in the difficult market today, it's going to be my sold sign people see. And that's going to cause other sellers to call me, because a seller wants not just a for sale sign on their lawn, they want a sold sign on their lawn. So who are they going to call? They're going to call the agents who are selling product. So our agents in the SCORE room in Mississauga, and now the ones who are participating in Barrie, those are the agents who are getting sold signs put on the lawn. Those are the agents who are moving forward through those zones and getting into a growth zone for their business. And that amount of growth that they take in a market that has been arguably challenging and could be for another year or two, the pipeline they build, the market share they take, they will never give back to the marketplace. So much like we have to ask our sellers in today's market, what is the price you are paying by hanging on to the hope that your home is the right value? What is the price you're paying by holding on to hope that things will get better, that you hope you're going to get another client? Because guys, hope isn't a strategy. Having the right mindset and taking action and moving into the learning zone and growth zone, that's where we take market share. Let's not look back in hindsight and go, man, I wish I had done that. I wish I'd built my pipeline. Other people are getting ahead of me. And for our top producers in the room, there's always more for us as top producers to be in that room as well, because we're always in a different place. Top producers, you're maybe in a comfort zone right now. You're feeling pretty good. You're feeling really great about where your business is. Maybe because you've gone through a market like this before, you're already taking market share. What does it look like for your team growth? What does it look like for you as a leader when you bring them into the group, and through the leverage that SCORE provides for you as a team, how much more market share as a team can you gain? So those are really the questions that I have for you. And really, much as Jennifer introduced me, the SCORE program is very much based on BOLD. It is new Canadian content. It's refreshed. It's some new ideas. It's some old ideas refreshed. It's a new way of looking at things, and a new way of helping each of us move forward in our businesses. So if anybody has any questions, I'll open the screen now. I'd say open the floor, but we're on screens.
Does anyone have any questions for Kate? Can you mute that, Jonathan? No, everyone's good? Let me see. I'm just gonna check out the chat real quick because I know there's some comments here. So Melissa is PSN coaching. So she was in session one. She just made the comment, I've already grown my business. Can't wait for tomorrow. And I know a lot of you saw the video I posted and shared. She got 4 referrals in her first day at BOLD, and Caesar, who's also there, got 1 appointment and 1 referral as well. And I talked to him this morning. He booked 3 appointments today also, just from that mindset. So I know it's not for everyone, and that's okay. For those of you that are interested, you can still come tomorrow. So if you do want to come, I will be there in the morning. You can come with me. You can check it out and decide if it's for you or not for you. But just going to throw that as an open invitation that I will also be there as well.
Anybody can
I've
come
done BOLD
up
5
until noon.
times. This is my first time going through SCORE. I actually did BOLD with Kate. I think it was in 2016 or 2017, and it's just a wildly different experience. So if you are feeling like it's more of the same, I promise you that it's not. It is a very different experience, and it's taught very differently, and it's exceptional. So I do think anybody would benefit from attending it, even if you've done that training before, especially in this market.
And what I would also say is that there's a sentiment where it's a tough market that we're in. And that's all you hear a lot of agents are saying. But the reality is a lot of teams and agents are having their best year yet. So we know it's not the market, we know it's a mindset. And this is what SCORE focuses on, where we are tweaking the mindset so that you can produce at a very high level. And we've already seen the fruits of those results just from 2 agents in our office already. So if you're looking to take your business to the next level, you can afford it. Absolutely. You're not able to afford it, have a chat with us, because as a brokerage, we want to see you win, and we'll figure out a way for you to attend.
Now, the stories that we have coming out of both rooms already.
Kate, we got you muted right now.
Oh, sorry.
Jonathan. Sorry, Kate.
No worries.
You can go ahead, Kate.
Okay. The stories we have coming out of both rooms are really phenomenal. We've got an agent who's 2 weeks in the business who's got an appointment on Friday. So she's been in the, she's 5 weeks. She got licensed after the first session in Mississauga. So she's just 5 weeks in the business. She's already got her first buyer appointment set for this Friday, from going into action and taking the activities that are needed to get those appointments. So she's meeting with her first clients on Friday. And we've got teams in the room, and we see this team production exploding as well. And it's massive leverage for team leaders and the rainmakers who are bringing their teams into the room. It's building camaraderie, it's building extra ideas, and it is leverage for a new level of accountability that's kind of giving our rainmakers a little bit of relief right now, because rainmakers, I know you guys are working really hard. And now I don't need to teach you how to do a listing presentation or a buyer presentation. What we're doing though is working together as a room to mastermind, so that everybody, these like-minded agents, these growth-minded agents in this room, are all producing and increasing their production, either as an individual or as a team together. So if you'd like to move forward in your business, be with like-minded people, be in that room. If you're interested in just status quo and staying still, then it may not be for you. So the choice is yours. Join us. Anybody can come join us up to lunchtime tomorrow. And if by lunchtime you decide this is the room I need to be in, then we can get you registered at lunchtime, give you your materials, and you can carry on from there and be part of the SCORE room with us.
Thank you very much, dear Kate.
Okay.
Truly appreciate it. Thanks for showing up. Thank you for just being on screen here with us. I love you. I love all the work that you do for us. I can't wait to see you next. Take care.
Yes.
Okay, go.
So if anyone wants to check it out, that's the QR code. You can take a picture, scan it, log in. More importantly, just show up tomorrow at 9:30 at BDAR in Barrie. And we'll chat more about it. Also, just a quick reminder with our commercial. Sure, yeah. Sorry. I did not scan the room.
We're all rooting for you. Like, like.
Someone emailed me good.
All right.
All right, here we go. Okay, so commercial partners, I know we talk about this every meeting. Just a quick reminder, guys. If you have commercial deals and you aren't a commercial agent or you don't know how to approach it or you're new in the industry, reach out to John and Drew. They're commercial specialists. They're supporting a lot of our agents on commercial deals. They know what they're doing. They're running a very successful commercial business as well as residential business, and they are available to support you, give you guidance, partner with you, give you a referral if that's what you would prefer. So just a reminder that they are there and they're ready to help. And their contact information is on the screen, so you can reach out to them anytime, or you can contact me and I'll just send you their info. So. All right, we're gonna get Jonathan and Gail and the Office of the Broker of Record. Darren, come on up here.
Yes, we can clap. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Good. I'm just going to take a couple quick minutes and thank everyone for all their hard work with their transactions coming in. Really, really compliant. Can you believe we are 18 months into TRUSA? Who knew? You've probably heard Jonathan mention that we really strive and we have gotten recognition as a brokerage for our level of compliance. And there's a lot of layers that go along with that, including our admin and our staff. But we work really hard behind the scenes to make sure that you guys are all protecting yourselves and your clients. So good job. There's just a couple of little things that some of you are still forgetting, which is the new representation forms. We are now designated representation, not brokerage representation. And there was a period of time that we would give some, or Jonathan would grant some exceptions based on certain circumstances, but that's behind us now. If you are not giving us the correct forms, we have no choice but to reject them and send them back for you to get changed with your client. And it's a lot easier to do it right the first time, obviously. The other tiny thing, it's big if you miss it, but it feels like a small detail, irrevocability. If your agreement of purchase and sale is irrevocable by the buyer cannot sign the confirmation of acceptance. So you've got to make sure you've got the right person signing that final confirmation of acceptance. And for me, that's really all I wanted to say today.
Thank you. I have this here. I think this is working now. Some of us have the pleasure of working with investors, and sometimes you're listing properties that are tenanted. So I seem to have some success with that. I try to get the tenants on board and do well with that. But nonetheless, when it comes to landlord and tenant issues and laws, we are not landlord and tenant experts. So we always recommend if we're getting into any type of situation where we cannot advise on that, then you would, if you want to go to the next screen, you would certainly reach out to Simona at Mayfair Law. I think is she going to be coming on later today? So Simona at Mayfair Law is a paralegal who deals with landlord-tenant issues. She can certainly guide you quickly on the best next steps. And we also have arranged for a great training on May 13th at 10 a.m. where Robert DeLisi from Stonegate Legal Services are going to be presenting here and teaching us how to deal with tenanted properties, right? It's really, really important. You can really mess up if you don't get your tenants on board in the right way, and you can have some really negative complications for your clients. So be very, very careful. There is, sorry, next one. This is more or less what we're saying. We're not able to really advise on that kind of stuff. There's also something coming up on July 31st in the city of Toronto. What they've done is to protect tenants from, bad faith evictions, what they call renovictions, where landlords, because they might have a tenant there for a long time, market rent is much higher. They try to find a way to get tenants out. They do a renoviction and get a tenant out so they can charge market rent. What the city of Toronto is implementing come July 31st this year is that landlords are going to have to obtain a rental renovation license. If you're a landlord and you're going to be renovating one of your units, you have to get a special license to renovate that unit. Just another layer of protection for tenants to make sure that they're not being evicted wrongly. Okay. So there's going to be Mayfair Law. Is that the first person I think you would? City of Toronto.
For Newmarket?
No, this is for City of Toronto
Oh,
specifically. Yeah. It's not yet. Right. Broker on the broker hotline, sometimes we'll get calls regarding powers of attorney. So whose name do you put on the listing? What do you do? Always put the seller's name or the owner's name on the listing. No, that would be an executor, but still, you would either for that in that case, if you're having a deceased, it would be estate of that person's name. If you're dealing with a power of attorney, which is different, and we have someone else who's signing on behalf of somebody else or advising, right? Then you have a power of attorney. In that case, you have to have a copy of that power of attorney. Be sure. You have to have a declaration that that person is not capable or has assigned that power to the power of attorney. And then you would put the seller's name on that listing, okay? Not the power of attorney's name, right? Some will use best practice of adding it in the brokerage comments that there would be a power of attorney who's going to be signing. When you have your power of attorney signing, it's going to be the power of attorney's name signing there on the signing spot. And below that, you have that little area you can fill in. You put attorney for the seller's name. Okay, so that's what you're going to have to do that way to protect yourself, to make sure that all the signatures are proper and in the proper wording. So again, you put the seller's name, and when in the signing section, you're going to put the power of attorney's name, and below that, the title of attorney for so-and-so.
Of an estate coming soon.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. So instead of putting the seller's name there, you're going to be putting the executor's name, and then under that, you put executor to the estate of, right? Yeah. I think that's it for that, right? Now, Jonathan's next. Thank you.
Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Gail, as well. So we have been talking about compliance, the rules and regulations under TRESA, and as well as the Toronto Real Estate Board. The reason why we do this is because twofold, because so many rules have changed over the year, 18 months, as Gail mentioned. However, other things have changed, which includes fines. And the fines have gone upwards. There was a maximum cap of $10,000 with the Toronto Real Estate Board, but now there's a maximum cap of $50,000. That includes, for whatever reason, that includes individual as well as the brokerage. And we don't want to discuss, all these kinds of fines, but there's one thing that I want to mention. And we've had issues within our brokerage, and all the brokerages that are out there will have the same issues, which is registration. Unfortunately, our RICO licenses are not at one point of time like our TREB membership. TREB memberships are at the beginning of the year, January 1st. I think we pay it by December 31st or so, but it starts on the 1st of January, and that's when everybody is registered with TREB. However, your RICO license every 2 years, it depends on when you've joined or when you started your license. And that doesn't always coincide with your TREB license or board membership in terms of dates. So we see not just within our brokerage, but we see within the TREB within Ontario, people who are lapsing their RICO license, okay, because RICO is a license, right? RICO is the one who gives you the ability to trade in real estate on behalf of the brokerage. You yourself, as representatives of the brokers, cannot trade in real estate yourselves. There's only one person per brokerage who can trade in real estate, and that's the broker of record. So your representation within RICO, your license to represent the brokerage expires June 21st or July 1st or whenever you were licensed back then. But then if you let that lapse, or if any of the agents or our agents or any other brokerage's agents let that lapse, then you also have to deregister yourself from TREB, or we will do that for you. Okay. The other alternative, if you don't, is very hefty fines potentially. And we've adjusted as far as the brokerage is concerned, we've adjusted our audit systems and our membership rosters so that it coincides that if you're registered with RICO, you must be registered with TREB as well with our brokers, because we are TREB members as a brokerage. But there are times when your RICO is lapsed and your TREB is still in membership, and we will have to deregister you with TREB, just because we don't want you to be fined very heftily, and we don't want the brokerage to be fined at a very large amount. So please be mindful. Not only is it our brokerage that we're going through these audits and changes and following the rules, but every brokerage that are out there, and TREB is having a field day trying to get everybody in line with the RICO dates or the registration that it's valid from RICO, which is also needs to be valid at TREB and vice versa. Is that all clear with you guys in the audience? And I hope that's clear online as well, because if you're not licensed, you can't be part of TREB. And you can't be part of TREB and if you're not licensed. So, do your updates. And just for FYI, when TREB deregisters you for that deregistration, they charge you $500. The reinstatement, I think, is 100 something. And there's a RICO reinstatement. So I just want to, that's the small part. It could go very, very high and into the tens of thousands potentially. So just be mindful of your registration with RICO and with TREB. I just want to end the broker record session there so that you guys are all aware of the consequences. Thank you.
Okay, I'm just gonna do another quick pivot to Zoom, and we're gonna get Simona to come on up. Just give me 1 second. Thank you guys so much for your patience today. Okay, Simona, can you unmute yourself and just
Yeah, can you hear me?
Perfect. I just wanted to run the main screen. Awesome, Simona. Thank you so much. Welcome. Sorry for the echo, guys. But I'm gonna just pass it to you and let you take it away.
Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Just want to remind everybody how available Mayfair Law Group is for all of you. So the market is going to be hot very, very soon. And we want to make sure that everything is dotted and crossed properly. Myself, Yaniko, my entire team are here. If you have any landlord-tenant issues, of course, like it was mentioned earlier, give me a call. Let's talk about it. I want to avoid any issues to happen down the road for yourself or your clients. May 8th, we're going to be doing another lunch and learn, talking about how to make you all powerhouses in your job. So if there's ever a topic that you want me to touch, of course, just let me know. And every other Thursday at 9 a.m., I am available on a call with Mike to answer any questions that you guys can have.
Well, we have her. Does anybody have any questions for Simona? No, everyone's good. Simona, May 8th for your training, the lunch and learn?
Yeah, May 8th.
That's all right.
Oh, that's.
Great day.
I think they're May 7th, right? Are you Wednesday, May 7th or Thursday, May 8th?
My calendar says May 8th, but I could be wrong.
Okay. So I believe it's May 7th, which is the Wednesday, the day before. But we'll just double check that. But good catch, Christine. Yeah, thank you. If it is Red Day, we'll connect and just adjust the date and let everybody know.
I'll be there May 7th.
Sounds good. Thank you. All right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Simona. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
We're going to jump into some upcoming events because we have got a lot going on over the next few months. And I just want to make sure that we take a minute to get all the dates lined up, to save the date, to plug things into our calendar, to just know when everything is going to be happening. So real quick to start with, Realtor Quest, which is a TREB event, is May 15th and May 16th. And you can register for that online. The link is in our calendar. You can go check it out. It's on our website as well. Or you can just go to TREB and you can register there. I believe Pitbull is the guest speaker, which I think is hilarious, but apparently he's a phenomenal speaker. But yeah, if you...
I'll talk. It's funny because it's Mr. Worldwide is like the keynote speaker. I've seen Pitbull speak at least 3 or 4 times. I can tell you he's a phenomenal speaker because he talks about his story, where he comes from, and what his purpose in life is. And not real estate. And entertainment is just a portion of it. So if you can make it, absolutely attend. He's a great speaker. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm sure he might perform. Who knows?
Okay, we're going to jump into Red Day because I want to make sure there's been a lot of emails. There's a couple of different things happening. I just want to make sure everyone knows what's going on, have some clarity around it, make sure you know how to sign up. So Megan, Mike, and Gail, can I get you guys to come on up and talk to us about Red Day? Mike, you look surprised, but I told you this was happening. I know, Mike. Gail. So the reason I'm having these guys talk about it, because as your ALC, they're the ones who are planning it and organizing it. So they have the most information and details.
Okay, I'll start. And I have been involved with organizing the shredding event. And so in the back parking lot behind the Keller Williams offices in Newmarket, there will be a big truck that will handle shredding of secure documents and hard drives for a donation in which your client or yourself will get a tax receipt for. It's only from 9 until noon. So make sure that when you promote the event that you communicate the window, because you don't want people arriving in the afternoon to find that the truck is gone. And there are many people who are interested in it. And so the way to promote it is that you may have secure documents that really should not be going into the blue bin. They should be shredded. And if you have lots of them, to manually put them into a shredder 1 page at a time is just too onerous. So this is a way that a person can bring a box or a garbage bag and have it done on site. And the way it would work is they bring the documents and they can actually see the documents shredded in front of them. So that when they walk away, they know that they have been correctly destroyed. So it is a great way to promote to your database and to your clients, especially those that are decluttering and getting ready for the market, and also friends and neighbors. So there is very little for you to actually pay for except for the shredding, and it supports a great ministry that's here in Newmarket that looks after women that are in crisis. So there you go. That's the one part I'm involved with. Yes, Christine.
company that's shredding?
I can't remember the name, but I don't think it's shredded, but they are professional shredders. I've seen the truck before and they can handle large quantities of shredding at the same time. So, okay.
I just would like to add that I blasted this out to my sphere and the response has been great. People are quite interested.
There's an actual tax receipt with that too.
So the way it'll work is you'll bring your box and then give TLC, the organization that it's in aid of, your name and address, because of course they're going to issue an official tax receipt, and then you'll be able to pay for the documents to be shredded right there on site, either with a credit card or cash per box, and then at the end of the year, along with all your other tax receipts that you receive in the mail, you will get a tax receipt. So, okay.
Gail, you want to go? Or you want me to go?
Well, why don't we arm wrestle for it?
You win.
The other thing we're doing for Red Day this year is getting back into the community. We're planning some cleanup crews to hit some of the communities that we really, I mean, our brokerage is far reaching, but we've got crews set up for everyone to sign up for Newmarket, Aurora, I believe Keswick.
Yep, Georgina, yep. And
there's-
it's working on Innisfil.
So either Innisfil or Bradford, but we're just working that out.
So that'll be a really fun way to spend a couple of hours on Red Day. There'll be crews of people going out. We're going to make sure you've got gloves and garbage bags and whatever you need. And we're going to clean up our community.
One of the things too to add to that is there's two shifts. So there's either the morning shift or the afternoon shift from the sounds of it. We're going to finalize everything today, but if you can't attend the whole day, you can do, either morning or afternoon. And like you mentioned, everything's going to be covered, all the materials, all that stuff. And it's a good opportunity for you guys to reach out to your database, say what you're doing, post about it, bring up that awareness, and really get back to the community as well, which is awesome.
And if I can add one last thing, sorry, Megan. I've been with this brokerage for about 1,000 years. And I think since COVID, one thing, as we've gotten some great new agents on board, one thing that hasn't really trickled down to everybody is the fact that Red Day is really a day when we all try to step away from our real estate business and come forward as a brokerage to do something in the community. So we're really hoping that everyone will find a couple of hours, if not the whole day, to really participate, have a presence in our communities. And I mean, we can use our social medias to tell our clients about it, but really it's about giving back. And it's really important that we all try to find a little bit of time that day to participate. Is there a wrap-up event that day, Jen?
There is, yes. So after we're done with the shredding and then we're done with the cleanups, we're going to actually be having a barbecue back here. We're going to open up the garage door. We're going to fire up a barbecue. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be barbecuing, which is wild, but there we go. And no one else wants to do it. I wear a lot of hats, guys. I'll take orders, by the way, if it'll get you here. But we're gonna have a barbecue. We're gonna hang out. We can have a little social event. I'll make sure there's some beers and some drinks and some, quality time, so everyone can sit and just chill in the grass area between us and the building behind us. It's a nice chill spot. There's some bench tables. We've got some cornhole in the garage. We might pull that out. Who knows what's going to happen? But yes, everyone is going to come back here after the event, and then we're gonna hang out and just talk about our day, take some pictures, and just share the experiences we had. So it's going to be a great day. There is a QR code on the screen. If you have not registered for which event you want to be a part of, please go to that, follow the QR code, sign yourself up. We also ordered t-shirts for everybody. They're not the standard KW t-shirts. I wish Steph was here. She's very excited about this. They're actually baseball style t-shirts because we want you guys to be able to wear them, not just on Red Day, but whenever you feel like it. So a little bit more of a fun vibe to them as well. So make sure you register for your t-shirt and your size so that we make sure we have it ready for you on May 8th, which is the Thursday, which is Red Day. So we will meet here and go from there. So for everyone who's already registered, thank you. And thank you, ALC, for coming up here.
I don't know if there's actually a sign up for the shredding, but we do need some volunteers because the office itself has 100 boxes that need to be loaded and taken for shredding. And women have been great, but we need some strong guys that will help when Clements load them into the back of his truck. So please reach out either through the sign-up sheets or through one of the WhatsApp groups that you're part of.
Perfect. And if you have a truck and you're willing to help that way, sign up, let us know you have a truck, and that will help us get everything back there faster. Thanks, everybody.
Cold or you're good? You're good. All right, before we head off, I just want to touch a bit on the charity that we're representing here, and it's TLC. And Megan, thank you so much for arranging this. TLC is a charity for women, whether it's abuse or situations like that. I know what it's like growing up with a mom who was abused. And my dad was very abusive to my mom. And I've seen what this center does. I've attended many of their events, and they really, really make a difference. So if you have things to shred, please bring it. If your clients can, because I can tell you where this is going, it's for a worthy cause. And I've seen the women who have come out of these events. Megan, you've been to many of the dinners. Like, you go there and you're just bawling your eyes out at the end of it because you know it's going to a good cause. And I just wanted to pause just so I can share that, so we understand the impact that we're having in our community.
Thanks, Colin. All right. Another great event we've got coming up, guys, May 28th. We have Andre Chin coming in person to teach Win with Sellers. It's from 12 to 3. It will be in person only, with the exception of, if you're up north, like Terry Hastings' team or Haley or Melissa, any of you guys, you will have a link. But for the rest of them, guys, we want this room absolutely full. First of all, this is an amazing session. Second of all, we're in a market where we need to know how to have tough conversations with sellers and talk about prices and have effective listing consultations. And third, if you haven't been in one of Andre's trainings, he's an exceptional trainer. I know lots of our agents have taken his trainings and shared with me that it has changed the course of their business. I've been in many leadership trainings. He's Keller Williams University certified. He hosts most of the KW region events at this point. It's an opportunity that you don't want to waste. We will have lunch. I promise there'll be food so you can come and eat. But please register for this. If you don't take any other training for the next 2 months, take this one. Okay, it will have a huge impact on your business. And this is the training that we used to take, I'm gonna say back in the day, I'm feeling so old. But when we first started at Keller Williams, it was Win with Sellers, it was Win with Buyers, it was all of the millionaire real estate agent models and systems. And we're trying to get back to that on the training calendar with highly effective trainers. So I did Win with Buyers last month. Andre is Win with Sellers. And we're gonna continue to do that over the course of the rest of the year. Please commit. It is free, it's in person, it's live, there's food, there's no reason not to be there. And you've got like a month's notice, so no excuses, okay? The other event we've got coming up is our agent event. Doesn't quite fit the screen. It's our agent event for your databases. So the past few years, we've been doing Easter events. We decided to change it up a little bit this year and do more of an early summer event. So we have booked out a portion of Brooks Farms as a private event. We have our own private pavilion. It's free for you guys to invite your databases to come. There's animals, there's a petting farm, there's a whole kid play area. There's food options there. There's gonna be free coffee and tea and drinks. And your clients can come spend time with their families. It doesn't cost them any money. It doesn't cost you any money. You get to get FaceTime with them and you get to generate more referrals out of your business, which is why we do this for you. So please take advantage of this. We're gonna have our own entrance point so you can track your own registrations and you can set up a tent or a table or have space to greet your clients as they come in and spend time with them. So that is on Saturday, May 31st, and it's from 10 to 3. Okay, so you don't need to register with us, but I will be calling and checking in throughout the month to see if you're planning to attend, just so we can get a gauge on numbers. But they are open to whatever our volume is. So it's an amazing event. It's on Ashworth Road in Uxbridge. It's just over by Highway 48. So it's local to most of us. I know it's a reach for some people, but it's an amazing farm. They also have a whole bakery, a whole garden shop, fresh vegetables, ice cream. So there's tons of stuff for your clients to partake in. And most people that I know Brooks Farms and really like it. So it shouldn't be too hard to sell to your database to get free entry and bring your kids and do all of that. So please put that on the calendar as well. And most importantly, leverage it for your database to get FaceTime so you can get more business, get more referrals, and improve your relationships. Yeah, Dylan.
We picked up 2 transactions.
Just repeat.
It's a free event to do. Come on.
Yeah, so Dylan just shared that they picked up two transactions from the Easter event last year. And it was a free event. They just invited people out. They came and got 2 deals out of it. We know this works. People run this all the time. Teams run this at high levels in their business constantly, and they're spending a ton of money to do it. This is an opportunity to do it without any time or effort or energy into the planning of it, which I know is a reason why a lot of us don't do it, because it's a ton of work, right? Which I think leads us into our next event. And if I can get Riley and Stevie to come on up here for a minute to talk to us about this one. You guys.
Talking about.
Just talk.
The microphone. You can, I'm gonna let Riley, I'm gonna let Riley kick it off just to kind of talk about why we started this event to begin with in the first place. This will be our 3rd year, so.
Yeah, spring is in the air, which means golf season is upon us, and our 3rd annual tournament is coming up. We do this in honor of my mom, who I lost 11 years ago to ovarian cancer. It's a nasty cancer, as they all are. I miss my mom, and even more so these days. We have 2 little ones, and she never got to meet them. So, yeah, so it's ovarian cancer is pretty bad. It's one of the hardest to detect. It's one of the fastest spreaders. So, you know, I know it's one that could use any and all support. So,
Because she didn't get detected till she was already stage 4, right?
yeah, she was stage 4 when they found it, so it was too late, and I think that's the case a lot of the time with ovarian cancer because it's so hard to detect. So, any contributions can definitely help for sure.
Yeah, so as I was saying, it's the 3rd year that we're doing this now. Every year we've tried to grow it to make it bigger and better than the previous year, but with a huge emphasis on trying to make the donations bigger and better as well. Obviously, the goal is to walk away with as much money as we can for the Ovarian Cancer Society. And it's great. Like, it's such a fun day. I can't express that enough. One of the things that we really tried to do with the tournament, and we're still like trying to keep it going, is not turn it into a super like, I don't know, like commercial is the right word to use, but we just always want it to be really fun and like a good time. And like a lot of the people that come are like Mike and Riley's close buddies who are obviously, you know, supporting Riley and the reason why we put it on. So it's always fun. We make sure to do it on a Friday every year. That way people can come and have drinks and just like enjoy themselves. So this year it falls on Friday, June 13th, which is like right around the corner. We're basically in May now. And yeah, it's at Silver Lakes Golf Course. So that's in Holland Landing. We've done a couple KW golf tournaments in the past there. So almost everyone should be familiar with it. It's a good location. It's like a happy medium for basically everybody. And it's a great course. So this year is going to be really fun. We have like a ton of sponsors. We have drink holes. We're looking to hopefully have some live music afterwards as well. That's one of the fun things, is a lot of people tend to stay afterwards and hang out and have some drinks and stuff. So it really is, it's such a good time.
The brokerage has always been a big support
Yeah.
too. I know Team Russo and Andrew and Wayne have signed up. Colin and Gary were there last year. Dylan, Jen. So more people from the brokerage, the better for sure.
Yeah, so exactly. So this year again, most people know that in the past, the KW has done their own golf tournament, but like it's a lot of work. And honestly, golf tournaments are getting harder and harder. So we've just decided this year to like essentially combine the two. So we are welcoming and hoping that all of you guys will want to come and participate, and everyone listening online. Hopefully you don't have to be like a good golfer. Don't think that it's, you know, there's not too much stiff competition. So don't worry, just come out and have a good time. And yeah, we're kind of doing ours in lieu of what you guys have known to be the KWRC tournament. And it's going to be a great time. We honestly cannot wait. And we really look forward to your support. I'll also mention, not like just if anyone happens to know of any type of sponsorship opportunities, I'll say that as well. We are looking to get the most sponsors we possibly can. It's obviously really important. It's the only reason that we are able to actually put on the tournament and fund it and do it and make it bigger and better every single year. So we've had great sponsors that have stayed loyal to us for the last few years, but we're always looking to get as much as we possibly can. One big goal that we have is to get all 18 holes sponsored. A hole is literally like $200 to sponsor, and it's a write-off for your business. So, you know, a no-brainer if you know anyone that
And
owns
these
like,
prizes and stuff too. If you know any local companies, it's great exposure. We have over 140 people every year, so.
yeah, it'll be a full tournament, 144 people. So it's a good time. There's also tons of opportunity for people to come up and set up on holes if they actually want to talk about their business, opportunities to present prizes. Again, as like a business owner, you want to, you know, get in front of people. So yeah, we're happy to, we have a sponsorship package, but we're happy to also like customize and talk to anyone about, you know, anything that works for them. So that's that. And we hope to see a bunch of you guys June 13th. I want to see those registrations rolling in, please. Please.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and Stevie mentioned that we all played in the tournament last year, which we did. We got the chance to play. Not only is it a beautiful course and a beautiful day, but it honestly was a really great time. And it was after that that we reached out and said, you know, we can see the passion you guys have for this cause and what you're doing. And instead of trying to do two separate events, we want to support what you're doing and get behind the vision of this. So consider this in lieu of our brokerage golf tournament. This is our brokerage golf tournament, and going forward, we're going to continue to back it and support it because it is so near and dear to our own family's heart. So if you want to have a good time, if you want to come out, you want to spend the day, let us know. If you have a business and you want to sponsor, like Stevie said, I know they're still looking for sponsors. Let's just show up as we always do and support them and support Riley and the cause and what this is all about. Because honestly, it's a really fun day. I happened to win ladies' longest drive last year. Just pointing that out. There's like 4 women golfers, but it doesn't matter. Still won. I got a pretty cool prize out of it. Dylan stole my hat, so.
Before we, guys, again, it seems like today, I think the theme of today, it might as well be women focus. Because ovarian cancer is not something easy. And like Riley said, you only detect this in stage 4. My mother-in-law went through the same thing. She was up and about and she found out, and it was 3 months later, she was gone. It happens very fast. And any research or anything that we can help to fund cancer or fund research in cancer, this was really help. So our brokerage is not doing a golf tournament anymore. This is us as a brokerage throwing our entire hat and team behind this event because we truly believe in it. So please come out, support it. You're supporting a really great cause.
Yeah. And there's one more date before we move over to Matt and or Dylan. I was gonna say Matt and Gizzy, you're one person. Matt and Dylan. June 26th, please buck it off. I don't know why it's not up here, but we are having our agent appreciation event on June 26th at Old Flame on the patio. We've rented out the whole main floor. It's going to be from 1 to 6. We're going to have some afternoon drinks. We're going to hang out. We're going to play some games. It's going to be a very social vibe. And it's our chance just to spend some time with you, say thank you for your continued support of the brokerage and trust in us, and just to give you another great event to hang out at and get to know each other at. So June 26th at Old Flame, I believe it's from 1 to 6. Put in your calendars, please. That is going to be our agent appreciation event this year. And Dylan and Matt, I'm going to have you guys come on up and just hit us with the market insights.
Yay!
I'm Matt, he's Gizzy. All right, everybody. Thank you for having us again today. We've been doing this for a while now in terms of the team meetings, and maybe just a little bit longer together as we realize that we both really like evaluating the market and talking about what's going on. I'll hold on to that. It'll be easier. Yeah. As we talk about what's going on in the market, specifically because as agents, we need to be able to do this for our clients. And I think really since 2020, well, I mean, always. I've been doing this since 2007 as a real estate agent. And I will say that over the last 5 years, it's felt like more of a roller coaster than usual. We've had ups and downs before. I think this is really my 3rd big market turnaround that we've experienced. But it does feel a little bit different, and especially coming off of 2021 and into the start of 2022, where it was such an incline in terms of how much homes were selling for, how quickly they were selling, and then how quickly that turned around with one of the fastest interest rate hike cycles that we've seen ever. We just started talking more and more about realizing that people needed information but also they needed that information to be communicated efficiently, because there are times where through the media, it's not always the right lens. It doesn't always apply to them. Even what we're going to share today might not apply to you. It might not apply specifically to your clients. What we're doing today is just to kind of give you a snapshot of what it looks like. And we want to encourage you to get really great at delivering the right information to your clients so that you guys can have those important conversations to keep them informed, but also help them make decisions and kind of see through all the clutter that's out there. So we do this on a monthly basis for the office. We go live on the office Facebook channel, as well as we have a YouTube channel that you can subscribe to here, where we break down all the areas. Our big video is about 2 hours long, and then we narrow it down to specific neighborhoods for you guys. And really what we're looking for is where are we seeing opportunities? And there is a lot of opportunity out there right now for buyers and for sellers. So if we're seeing tight markets between the townhomes and the detached, or the semis and the detached, we share that with our database and our clients as well. And we'd like you guys to be able to do the same. So I'm going to jump into Aurora detached first. We saw a big change in median price last month. You got to remember, Aurora has a wide array of homes and has some super expensive homes. So to see this kind of drop on a month-to-month basis, it's not overly concerning, but we are seeing a little bit of a trend as we've been stacking inventory. More and more listings are coming up and our sales volume is down. This is kind of across a lot of different markets right now. We're seeing active listings are up 12%. We luckily saw some sales increase up to 33. This is still low for Aurora. It's low for the market, but we did see a month-over-month increase. And so I think with that additional sales volume coming in, even though we're looking at median price instead of the averages, we're still seeing a big swing there in Aurora. We have seen, now when we come into Broker Bay, it's another tool I encourage you guys to use when you're taking a look at what's going on in the market. Specifically today, this graph is showing activity on a weekly basis for Aurora homes. This is all home types now for sale. And you can see that we're up 13% month over month and up 22% year over year. So we are seeing more showings happen. For those of you that are carrying listing inventory right now, I think you can all agree that we're seeing more and more showings before we actually get to an offer. There's a lot of buyer sentiment out there that is still looking around. And that's just one of the things that we watch. I'm going to pass it over to you, Matt, as we take a look at Newmarket.
Yeah, so in Newmarket, we had a 2% increase in price month over month to 1.269 million. And sold listings were up 9%, which was good to see. And then the active listings, which we're kind of seeing across the board, that's increasing as well. We had 197 active detached listings in Newmarket, and I believe it was the same months of inventory as Aurora at 5.5%. And then for showings, we saw a 2% decrease month over month for showings and a 29% decrease year over year. And then offers as well. We saw 53 offers in the month of April. That was down 7% from last year and 51% year over year.
Yeah, fantastic. I'll take a quick look back at Aurora for you guys to see there. Aurora actually saw a big uptick in terms of offers. And that makes sense as we saw the sale volume uptick there as well in comparison to Newmarket. When we come into Georgina, median price holding much more stable. Georgina seems like they really had their adjustment earlier on. Yep. Their pricing has been doing much better in terms of the big swings and seller kind of expectations as a whole. When we look at sold stats, we are down month over month, 35 units, so we're down 20%. Active listings as well, still continuing to increase there. And this is when you're talking about opportunity and who you can speak with. Your buyers have so much choice in Georgina right now. We've got 8 months worth of inventory, so a little bit tougher for the sellers, but start communicating with buyers that they have a lot of buying power there. They have a lot of choice, and that choice gives them a little bit more negotiation power. That negotiation power has downward pressure on pricing. Coming into our showing activity, year over year, we're down 6%, down just 1% for the month. Taking a look at offers, there was a bigger hit there too. Down year over year, almost 40%, almost 50% at 47% there. And I will say this, coming off of March last year, we still had a really hot spring in 2024. Like that early month, or those early months from January to March were still quite hot. It wasn't until really April that we started to see that slow down.
And then in Barrie, month over month prices were down 0.2%. So very stable prices over the last 2 months. Sold listings down 6% to 90. And then active listings, again, it's in the range of Aurora and Newmarket, 5.4 months of inventory, 486 active listings, which was up 18%. And then as far as showings were down 2% month over month, 20% down year over year. Offers were up 2%, but down 31% year over year. And then average showings before listings was about 16.7, which is up 4% from last month and down 10% from last year. But we can see we started off very strong to start the year off, or start the month off, but it has waned out. I don't know how much that had to do with the election coming up. So it'll be interesting to follow this chart for May to see if we start to see an uptick happen again.
Yeah, exactly. And so then that last square that you see there, average showings before the property sells, you can start communicating that at your listing consultations. On average, we're looking at about 16 in Barrie right now before we get the home sold. Yes, Gail.
The interest.
Yeah, it's fluctuated in a few different ways and not always as you would expect. Like even going back to when we first started seeing the cuts begin to happen last year in June, we actually saw the market really slow down when the rate cycle started to cut. So we're not there yet. Really what we've been seeing on a consistent trend is we're seeing more inventory continue to hit the market. For those of you that aren't aware, Mike does the morning calls for the coaching program every day of the week. And on Monday in particular, he talks about what happened last week in the market. And Mike, in particular, you always track the number of solds and the number of active listings, right? Yeah. And I was looking at your chart earlier because Anushka had a nice screenshot of it. And you can just see every week we're stacking more and more inventory since the beginning of the year. And that's the same thing that we're seeing across the board. Yeah. So even with those rate cuts coming in, we're just seeing I think this is where we come to a little bit about what Kate was talking about. There's more uncertainty out there. And I think that's really the challenge because we sold more homes last year at much higher interest rates. So the interest rates are not really the biggest part of the discussion anymore. Prices have come down, rates have come down. So affordability technically has gotten better, but our sales volume has really dropped off. And that's primarily because of the uncertainty that we're seeing. And I will say this is something that we talk about on our much longer form show. We're actually seeing increases in a lot of areas of homes selling over the asking price. So that, to me, what that says is the multiple offer strategy is working in a lot of areas. And the reason why it's working, again, this is on a percentage base. The reason why it's working is because it's creating urgency in a market where there isn't any urgency. So again, it doesn't work for all properties. And again, it's percentage based. So with sales volume down, it's easier to say why that would go up because there's always going to be a percentage of homes that will command the interest of people wanting to get into that neighborhood, whether it backs on the ravine, school district, whatever it might be. But we have seen those numbers increase in a lot of places. And I think that's because what we need to do is, as agents for our listings, for our sellers, is how do we create urgency in a market where there isn't any? And sometimes that strategy will help there. The final slide we want to show for today is, are we seeing a trend maybe similar to 2020 in terms of our sales volume? So what can we expect to come down the line? And so if you look at this rectangle that we've got here colored out, you can see that the bulk of our sales every year take place in that February to June, right? That's where we see our big peaks. That's where the bulk of the sales are happening. Then you see them again in the fall, but not quite to the same extremes as we do in the springtime. And now this bottom line, I'm going to step over here. This bottom line is where we are now, right? And this is going back to 2011. So we've had just horrendous sales numbers across the Toronto board for the start. This is 15 years back. Look at the population size that we have now, the number of homes that we have now, and we're still coming in really, really low. So that is not great. But what I'm talking about is in terms why, let's look at 2020, right? So the lockdown happens here in March, around March 13th or whatever. April, it comes down. And then, like we know, everything just took off. Average price did this too. We're looking at sales now, but pricing did this and went through. We're talking about sales here, and it just went like this. And look at this big bulk. 2020 outperformed 15 years worth of sales volume in the summer months. And the reason is all these sales that typically happen during these months didn't happen, right? So it all just got pushed down the road. I think we're going to see the same thing here. I don't think it's going to make prices come back in a huge way, but that's okay. Because again, if you're buying and selling in the same market, it's all relative, right? And so look for the opportunities. You know how to communicate that to your clients. But for us as agents, Are we going to see more opportunity come for us to sell homes to help clients? I think there's a good possibility of that. It's just going to depend on how this uncertainty goes. If somebody keeps throwing grenades into a room, yeah, we might have to wait a little while for that certainty to come back. But nonetheless, like we're down 38.5% year to date in comparison to 2024. So there's a good chance that all these people that are sitting on the sidelines are going to come back into the market. We've seen it happen before. Matt, I totally dominated that, but is there anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I think that the uncertainty in the economy with the tariffs, with the interest rates, it's having a big effect. And this is the effect that we saw in 2020 was that an entire country didn't know what was going to happen, how long the lockdowns were going to last, all that. Once they had an idea of where things were going, everyone started to come back to the market and we peaked out. There's one chart that we didn't add that I was trying to get in today from 2021 until now. If we take out the big price increase that we had in 2022, it's a very flat market as where prices is from 2021 to now. So prices have maintained quite well. It's just the uncertainty in the market, and once that changes, and maybe the conversations that we're having with our clientele, I really think that later in this year, when things with the U.S. calm down, we're gonna slingshot to the upside.
Yeah. Trev had predicted that we were going to outpace last year in terms of sales. Obviously, so far that is not happening. When they made those predictions, we weren't talking about everything that we are with the US and changing globally. But if that does come back based on what we were seeing leading through the fall, because coming into 2025, we were looking pretty good. A lot of things were kind of coming around. I do think that this will come forward and we'll see us outpace a lot of those previous years. Now, because it's the end of the month, we don't have true Trev updates, but through Habistat and Realm, there are so many great programs there for you guys to get stats from. Our numbers are current for April as of yesterday. It does look like April might underperform again. So typically you see March to April, we see sales continue to add. It looks like we're going to be down unless something drastic happens today in terms of reporting, but only since, again, going back to 2011, only in 2017, 2021, and 2022 have we seen a decline in sales from March to April. So again, there are so many outside factors that I think that are impacting us beyond just affordability. And we're very optimistic that now that the federal election is behind us, government's going to get back to work. Hopefully that'll help alleviate some of that uncertainty, and then we'll just march forward from here. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to let us know. And again, yes. Yes. Yeah.
Don't expect the price to go up.
Yeah.
But we're seeing this bottleneck demand, sales volume will increase. We think the market will get a lot more active. Is it also reasonable to expect prices will go up?
Great question. So the question is more about supply and demand. And if we're anticipating that we start to see more sales come through and that demand, will we see that reflect into prices going up as well? I think there's a reasonable element to say that you could see marginal increases for sure. The reason why we're not saying that there's going to be big increases in terms of pricing is we still do have those economic factors. They're not going away. We've also been stacking inventory for like 6-7 months. Well, really for multiple years now, but
it's going to take time to get out of.
Yeah, it's going to take some time to clear out all that inventory really before we see prices come back around. Like as of January, again, before all the tariff talk happened, we started the year with 50% more active listings than we had the previous year. And so I know, Mike, you had an amazing January last year. Because the fall of 2023 was horrendous. You advised all your clients, hey, let's put this on pause, get everything listed right away in January. I think you cleared out 6 listings really quickly, all with amazing prices. And some other people followed that trend last year. And that's just not where we were this year. We had way too many active listings out there. And so as we start to see sales come back, the pricing will start to go up a little bit, but only once we clear out that inventory.
Yeah. And I think prices have been very stable because job losses in the country haven't been very substantial either.
Yeah.
They've been very minimal. So that's what's held prices where they are. So if we have that influx of people coming back to the market, jobs are not being lost, but created, it's going to definitely help out big time.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely check out our show. The big thing there is it just helps you prepare you to have those types of conversations with your clients. And
Yeah,
that's the big thing that we want you guys to get out of it.
And we break it down to whether it's Aurora, Newmarket, Georgina, Barrie. We have all the different videos on all the communities so that you guys can watch that and get some information out of it.
So everything you normally do it on Facebook, but you're saying it's now on YouTube.
Yeah, we do
Yes.
a YouTube one and then we do a Facebook one. So if you go to the YouTube, it's way more in depth than what we're talking about on Facebook.
As well, from the Facebook Live, we then edit it and chop it down because it is long. We tend to talk for about 2 hours on those, and we know that you're not always going to sit through all of that. You want to hear just the information that's important to you. So on the YouTube channel, we cut up all those videos so they're kind of neighborhood specific. All right, thank you so much.
Everyone, Matt and Gizzy.
Thanks, guys. And if anyone has questions about, how to use the tools that we have available to us, reach out to Matt, reach out to Dylan, reach out to Mike, that they can show you at least how to access like the broker-based stats or the stats platforms that we have, so you can look at this stuff yourself as well. If like me, you hate all this stuff, just wait till they do it and then take it. It's way easier.
Did benefit from a how-to session of how to pull these stats? Would we see value in that? Okay, all right, we'll get that on the
Perfect.
calendar.
Look
Thank you,
for that.
guys.
Awesome. Okay. Nicole, our very, very patient and wonderful Nicole. We're gonna pull you up. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna get you up on Zoom here, and then we're gonna get Jonathan to unmute Colin, but 1 sec. I know, like she's been sitting there for like half an hour, like I'm ready. I'm gonna ask everybody, just mute it for 1 sec, Jonathan. I know it's 1:30. I know that's when we usually end. Obviously, we started a little late. Just give us 5 more minutes. We're gonna just chat with Nicole quickly, and then we're gonna get out of here. If you have to go, we understand it. There will be a recording, but if you can stay, we just ask for 5 more minutes of your time, please, and then we'll get you on with your day. Okay, go ahead, Jonathan. And now sorry, there's gonna be echo. Nicole, hi, how are you?
Hi. Okay, I'll keep it super quick, guys, because I know we're all kind of getting ready to get out of here. So I just wanted to kind of recap a couple things that came out from last week at that Thrive and Drive event. So for those of you who were there, some of this might be a bit of a repeat, but I had the pleasure of being on a panel with a couple of economists from and risk managers from both the Canadian insurer Sagen as well as another economist from BMO. And I just wanted to kind of share some of my, behind the scenes conversations with them as well, too, because we got a little bit more in depth. And so we're kind of all on the same page. So it was nice for me to kind of get their perspective as well, to see that we're kind of all in line. And basically, we've talked about uncertainty. We kind of know that's a thing right now. So that still obviously is there. We just kind of spoke about that or heard about that from the team as well too. But basically, the good news is that across the board, I know it may not always seem like it right now, but we are seeing an uptick in applications. We've been seeing this for the last few weeks, me personally, ever since pretty much mid-March, but it is happening across the board. But what I thought was really interesting is that not just looking at my book of business, but in talking to the lenders and the insurers, it's, the sort of common ground that we are all seeing the biggest amount of applications with first-time home buyers. So we're all really attributing this to the rule changes that came into effect late last year or pretty much this year, but in December. So, again, I don't have the exact number, so sorry, I don't have the exact stat, but we've definitely seen sort of the biggest amount of applications in that first-time home buyer space. They're kind of in agreement with me that where that sweet spot really is, it's not that we're seeing a bunch of, first-time home buyers that have come in now at that $1.5 million mark. That's definitely not the case, but it is use of definitely the 30-year amortization, but that sweet spot, and anyone that was buying a detached home at that $1 million mark, for example, and was priced out of the market previously because they were at that 999 cap and they needed an extra $30,000 or $40,000 to win that offer. That is really the sweet spot that we're seeing. So it was nice to see that both the insurers and BMO was in agreement with that as well. And then in terms of rates, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but we've definitely now really see sort of the pendulum swing over to that variable rate. So where I was talking about this late last year, where variable rates had a bad reputation. We're really seeing the momentum moving over towards most clients and borrowers switching over to, or not switching, but now, you know, sort of in line with the variable rate, specifically because of that flexibility and with the understanding that, you know, fixed rates may eventually sort of come back down. So we're definitely see a lot of movement there. And then speaking with the fixed rates, we're actually really not seeing the shorter terms anymore. So I know I've had a lot of questions on that. That 2-3 year fixed rate term is really kind of non-existent these days. We're getting a couple of them here and there, but we're really starting to move back to that sort of 5-year fixed, 5-year variable type of price point. So, or type of rate. So for those people who just are feeling still a little uneasy with the variable rates, they are moving towards that 5-year fixed. And it's just really the mentality that, hey, you know, people took the shorter terms 2 or 3 year fixed a couple years ago because we expected, you know, things to settle down and rates to kind of come back down. But if you look back 3 years ago to where we are now, we're still dealing with a whole bunch of noise. So people are just kind of like, okay, you know what? I just want, you know, consistency, and I just want to lock in. So we're back to kind of seeing those 5-year terms. And then I'll just leave you with the fact that in terms of Bank of Canada announcements, we are, depending on who you listen to, again, the consensus still tends to be somewhere around the likelihood of another 2 to potentially 3, you know, cuts for the rest of the year. I'm of the opinion that, again, this could change at any point in time with all of the stuff that's happening in the US plus our election. But that is sort of the kind of common ground right now, is that we're likely going to see another 2 to 3 for the rest of the year. So fingers crossed. And I will leave you guys with that.
Does anyone have any questions for Nicole? Anything you want to ask quickly while you have your time here?
She's also on Mike's Thursday call every other Thursday.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry, guys.
for
I
those
can't
of you
hear
that, yeah, for those of you that don't know, Nicole is also on the morning call every other Thursday with Mike for mortgage updates. So every
Yes.
one Thursday we get Simona, and then the next week we get Nicole. So you guys are getting your lagging and your leading indicators of what's happening in the market. Tune into those calls. They're on the same morning call link as all the other morning calls. It's open to the whole brokerage. That's where you're going to get your most up-to-date, consistent info from those guys, and chance to get one-on-one conversation and ask more direct questions as well. Awesome. Thank you so much, Nicole. Appreciate you.
Of course. Thanks, guys.
All right, let's see. Keep rolling here. All right, one quick thing for you guys before we wrap up. These are, if you go to this QR code, guys, this is just a quick tool to help you with your business. These are 30 social media prompts for the spring. So if you go to this QR code, KW puts this stuff out like every single month. They put out social media content, a calendar, a plan, tools for you. You just have to know where to find it. It is all in command now. If you go to the connect portion, all the links are there. So just QR code there, grab that. You can get 30 social media prompts for you to leverage your social media without having to think about it for the next couple of months. I was going to do a little thing, but I'm just going to wrap this up really nicely and say I was on social media the other day and I heard a leader at a different brokerage, and they were talking about how we're already 33% done the year. And at first when I heard it, I was like, whoa, can't believe we're 33% done the year. That's crazy. And I stopped and I thought about it, and I was like, we're only 33% through the year. There's so much time left. We're not even 50% of the way there. When we reframe the messages we get and we look at them with opportunity, it sounds different. So I'm going to challenge you all to stop and go, Q1 is done. That's it. We've got 3 more quarters to go. What are you going to do, and how are you going to show up for your business in the next quarters? Get into trainings, come to events, learn what other people are doing to get success, get in a room with like-minded people. This is not the market to be on your own. It's just not. It is hard. It's still hard when you're in the room, but it's a little bit easier when we're going through it together. And you're going to get some ideas and some inspiration and motivation more from each other than what we can even provide for you. So be present. This is when you need your team the most. This is when we need to support each other the most. So I'm going to leave it at that. But just think about it. Only 33% of the way through the year. There's so much left to go. Show up for your business, okay?
There's nothing for me to add to that. Well said.
Thank you.
I don't want to go after that. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you for your patience. For those of you online, we will get a copy of the slides and everything to you. Thank you.